here we go. I'm going to talk about some of the awkward and semi-controversial parts of marathon running that nobody likes to talk about, and I certainly don't like to talk about.
But there's a difference between a comfortable everyday weight and an optimal racing weight. Coast Guard Marathon, April 2026. I'm going to go into a breakdown of what I did right and what I did wrong for this training block. I finished the Coast Guard Marathon in 4 hours and 5 minutes. My goal was sub 4. It's my 5th marathon overall. I'm 48 years old, and it's the second time I've trained for and missed sub 4. I did the Space Coast Marathon in 2025, aiming for a sub 4, and I hit 4 hours and 55 seconds. So I missed that one by 56 seconds. And I really think that one was weather related. It was a really hot, humid day, and that was just out of our control. This one, I missed it by 5 minutes. Kind of thinking about this for the past week and thinking, what were the things I did right and what did I do wrong? I generally don't even celebrate what I did right. I only think of what I did wrong and think of my failures. So I've spent a week thinking about it, not wallowing in self-pity or anything, just being honest with myself and trying to learn the lessons so I can take action for the next training block. If you've ever had a race that didn't go the way you planned, then hit like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think you did right and what you think you did wrong. First of all, I'll start with, I don't usually acknowledge the things I do right. I only focus on my perceived failures generally. So one thing I did right in this training block was I showed up. I was consistent, I was dedicated, I was on track to hit like 98% of my training block. My aerobic base is super solid. I was doing my strength training, started my own little plan to do just mini strength workouts every day after my running because I couldn't manage the 2 to 3 longer strength sessions per week after a run. I just broke it up. I fit in all the exercises, did all the injury prevention. I did pretty much everything right with that. And I ran whether I was tired or busy. I'd get up at 4 if I had to so I could get my run in. And I don't have a problem with consistency, dedication, and discipline. That's a strong point for me. In all reality, I did finish it. Even with a slight injury and excruciating pain during the run, I finished it. That's not something to be taken lightly. It's a huge accomplishment. I've read that only less than 1% of humans ever run a full marathon in their life. Somewhere between 0.13 and 0.16% of the global population does a marathon. I've written some of this down. The average marathon finishing time for those who do run a marathon is somewhere between 4:10 and 4:30 for men and 4:32 to 4:48 for women. And those tend to typically fall in the 30 to 44 age group, with times generally slowing down after age 50. So I've run 2 marathons faster than what the average man, and that's a younger man, 30 to 44. I'm 48 right now. So that is a lot of hard work, dedication, early morning training. So I will try to celebrate those accomplishments, even though to me they just feel like that's something that an average person would do. So I won't let that go. But I do have to look at the full picture and look at what I did wrong too. As hard as that is, I don't to face this part. What I did right was, one of the things was consistency, discipline. Well, that also falls into what I did wrong category. There were nights during this training block when I was in the hospital, not for me, but for a friend, with absolutely zero sleep. I had one night where I got out of the hospital about 9 in the morning. It was a really hot day. I told my sister I'm going to go run anyway, and I'll just go to bed as soon as I run. Well, we had a crazy 9 miles of speed work, and I went out there, I did it, and I felt really dry. Like I barely made it through. I hit all the paces, barely made it through. And then we were stretching and kind of sitting down a little bit after the run, and I got up After that stretch, I got up. I felt really dizzy. As I walked to my car, I felt dizzy, and my left arch, the one I've been having a problem with, well, I hadn't had a problem with it up until that day. My left arch was like almost talking to me like, something's wrong. There's something not right here. And I kind of hobbled to my car, but I was like, it'll be fine. And I just kind of ignored the left arch. So I just ignored it and hoped for the best. While consistency and dedication are good, being so locked into that you ignore warning signals from your body is something I did wrong. Next time I will know sleep deprivation is not, you can't just go out and run a 9-mile speed work after being awake for a whole night. Well, anyway, I can't. At this stage of life, and maybe I could have done that when I was 20. Yeah, I could have, and I did many times, which is why I'm thinking like, oh, 48, yeah, I can still do that. Why not? No, it's not a good thing, and I won't be doing that again. I'm gonna listen to my body, listen to my warning signals. Missing one run is better than starting a cycle of having to cut long runs short, feeling miserable, pushing through pain. No. Okay. The next one, it's really a hard one to talk about and awkward, and nobody likes sharing about their weight. I've been trying to be honest with this and be honest with myself, and so I'm going to talk about this. My optimal racing weight is somewhere between 153 and 158 pounds. To give you some context, I'm just a little over 5'10", and I tend to carry muscle and fat easily. So I'm an easy gainer. I gain muscle super easily. I've lifted heavy weights pretty much consistently for about 30 years. I put on muscle fast, and I put on fat fast too. I went into this marathon at 165. So that's anywhere from 12 pounds over my optimal racing weight. And I could feel it from the first few miles. I'm not gonna pretend that I couldn't. Your body doesn't dissipate heat as easily when you're carrying extra fat, which is basically non-functional mass. It's holding you back. 165 is not fat for me on a normal daily basis. I'm not gonna say that. It's a very comfortable weight where I fit into my clothes well, I feel good. I can go out and eat a burger and pizza with my husband, have fun, and I can just kind of float at that weight without really tracking anything too much and just stay healthy, and I'm fine. But there's a difference between a comfortable everyday weight and an optimal racing weight. That was a big shock when I actually sat down and did the math. Okay, unfortunately I gotta erase all these lovey-dovey messages off of Adrian's whiteboard. If they will erase. You've been on there so long. As far as racing weight goes, there's a formula that says every pound of fat is about 2 to 3 seconds worth of performance speed. So with the general consensus falling about 2.4 seconds per mile. So according to that, every pound lost equals about 2.4 seconds per mile faster. My racing weight 165 minus 153 equals 12 pounds. 12 pounds times 2.4 seconds over the course of 26.2. It's actually 26.4. It goes 26.46 for this race equals, that's a total of 12 minutes and 35 seconds faster, according to the formula that I could have run. And my current weight was 165, and I got a 405. That would equal out to a racing weight of 153 pounds, according to the paces I ran and the weight I was. That would have equaled a 3:52:25 marathon. even if I hadn't been at the best case scenario of 153, even just down 7 pounds for a weight of 158 would have put me at a 357.39, still a sub 4. So according to that formula alone, my weight could have cost me the race. That's a hard and ugly fact. But I mean, life isn't just formulas. It's 100 variables on race day. But when the math lines up that closely with what I experienced, that definitely played a part in it. I won't say that was the whole thing. Mainly my foot and calf, everything was hurting, and then I was compensating for that with my other. So I mean, the pain was pretty excruciating. But yeah, the weight definitely played a part in it, which brings me to the next variable that I didn't control that I could have controlled, and that was not tracking my nutrition closely at all during this training block. Just because the volume of miles was pretty high, I was just basically in the mind frame of I don't really need to track that closely. I need to be eating more carbs. Everybody says carbs, 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 all the time carbs. And I mean, I'm really a person who mainly focuses my meals around protein and vegetables for the most part. But I would say that I was a little fast and loose this training block with my nutrition. Running makes you hungry, and if you're just eating intuitively, you can tend to eat more, put on some weight. So yeah, next time I will be tracking a little more carefully. At this, your body adapts. Even if you can be running 60 miles a week and still put on fat because you're just, well, for me, maybe that doesn't happen for some people, but for me, I can adapt, and I'm a big eater. I like to eat a lot, and I like to eat very satisfying meals. I wouldn't say I eat a lot of junk food. I eat pretty clean, but the hunger cues are pretty strong, and I will tend to overeat if just given free rein. That's just a fact of my life, and I always have to watch what I eat. It's too many carbs in the week leading up to the race, and too many carbs during the race, which caused an emergency bathroom stop, which could probably added another 1.5 to 2 minutes of my time. I won't go into that too much because you never know with that. It can happen anytime. It's just a part of racing. To wrap this up, this is not meant to be a pity party at all. I don't feel pitiful. I'm disappointed that I didn't hit my goal in this race, but I do have to give myself kudos for finishing even with an injury. But no pity party, no wallowing in self-loathing. Adrian has absolutely forbidden me to call it a failure. Because like I said, that's my tendency. You failed, you're despicable. But I just want to be truthful about what I had control over and what I had no control over. So what I could control, I could have controlled my weight better going into race day. My nutrition structure during the training block, I could have controlled that better. I could have controlled how I handled my sleep deprivation after the hospital, and other times I've just said no to running those days, or I could have went home and slept and maybe done an evening run, or I don't know, I could have swapped out easy days or whatever. I could have changed it up. What I ate in race week and race morning, I could have controlled all of that much better. What I couldn't control, the hospital stays. Life happens. There was nothing I could have done about that. I mean, I could have just said, no, I'm not going to do that, but that's not optional for me, given my life and my friendships and my faith. I couldn't control some degree of race day digestive variability, bathroom issues. That wasn't really within my control. Weather, course conditions, but the things that cost me the race were almost entirely things that I could have controlled. And who knows whether an injury would have popped up regardless of my sleep deprivation or not. It could happen to anybody at any time. So that may not have been as in my control as I think it is. It's actually pretty good news that those were things that were fairly in the control category, because I can work to just do better with those next time. I try not to tie my self-worth into my goal times. I'm a very goal-driven and accomplishment-driven person naturally, so that's kind of hard for me to do, but I'm trying not to do that and just take these races and just have fun with them, because it's a luxury to be able to run marathons. I try to be a good steward of my body and my time, and sometimes I feel like doing that much training is probably not very good stewardship of time. There are other things that I could be doing that would be more meaningful, more helpful, and I try not to let any of that take over things that I'm doing for my family and my church and my friends around my house. And my main priorities are my God and my faith, my family, my husband, my household, my community, and so that's number one in my life. And I try to keep all of this in proper perspective. But there are things that I will try to do better next time. It's a puzzle, so if you've ever missed your goal time or your race goal, hit like and subscribe and give me a comment and let me know how you did, what you think you did wrong, what you think you did right. It's all a big puzzle just to try to figure out, and this is the kind of puzzle that I really enjoy. It's a hobby. It's a way to stay active and healthy and moving as I head into my 50s, as I'm in, I guess, freshman year of being an old person. But yeah, it's a big, giant running puzzle to try to figure out, and it's fun. So I want to keep it that way and just enjoy it as I move forward with it. Thanks for watching.